Okay, so Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to all students. Salamat Hari Raya, Eid Mubarak to all students. Students, can you hear me and see the screen clearly? If somebody can confirm, can you see the screen and hear me?
Yes, sir.
All
And
right,
sir,
thank you. So today we are going to give you briefing on the lab sessions and the project. But before I start the lab session and project session, the midterm, many students have, all the students have given midterm, and the midterm results in general, those students who used to attend the class and those students who were attentive in class and who used to submit reports, the midterm result has been very good. Some students have secured more than 90% marks or 95%, and many students have obtained 80% and above. So overall, in general, the result has been very good for all the students. Those students who did not come to class, obviously they could not secure good marks because they did not remember the key concepts and key tips and tricks for attempting the midterms. So overall, in general, the marks which students have obtained are very, very good. And the result will come on the week number. Uh, so this is week 7, week 8, week 9. So week 9, the result will be announced by Tuesday. So this was a little bit updates on the midterm marks which students have given. These contribute to 20% of the marks. Now we are going to move on to lab or laboratory. Laboratory also constitutes to 20% of the marks. So today I'm going to give you briefing on the labs for all students. So today we are going to discuss about who are going to be the teachers for your lab, what is the teaching plan of your lab, how the lab assessment is going to be carried out, how the lab is going to be conducted, how the groups are allocated, the attendance for the lab, the briefing, or how the report should look like, what are the characteristics of a good report, what you should include in your report and what you should not include in your report. So please, if there is any confusion on the contents of reports, please ask me the question. Okay? So please ask me the question regarding the contents of the report after the briefing is complete. Next, we have the practical, how the practical is going to be carried out, some tips and tip tricks on safety, and then we will finish the lab briefing part. So instructors, I am the coordinator for your lab. So I am the one who has made the schedule for the lab. And you have got the lab instructors or JPs. Lab instructors are Mr. Sazali for casting process, Mr. Khairul for plastic injection process, and Mr. Asmizam for electric discharge machining or computerized numerical control machining process. Here are their numbers. So if you want to contact them, you can contact them as well on WhatsApp. So in your teaching plan, we've got course learning outcome number 2, perform the manufacturing process technique with standard operating procedure. So it is very important for students to perform the lab, which means that it is important for you guys that while you are performing the lab, take snapshots, take pictures of all the manufacturing process, take pictures of you performing the process. Somebody, so mic is open. So it is important for you guys to take the pictures of all the team members in the group. Okay. So you should take the pictures of all the team members and you guys performing the experiment. Okay. And then take the picture of the machine, take the picture of all the manufacturing process or steps, etc. So it is the pictures are the
Sir,
So,
you are muted.
so you mute
Hey,
your.
you unmute.
Sir, you're mute.
so did you guys even hear what I said since the start of lab or not yet? Nothing. Hello? Okay, just now. Okay. So just now it was mute. Okay, understood. So as I was telling you guys that for the lab, we have got course learning outcome, perform manufacturing process technique with standard operating procedure. So to basically complete this course learning outcome, the guideline or recommendation is that you have to take the pictures of all the team members performing the experiment and you have to attach those pictures in the report, which means student handling the equipment, student operating the equipment, student using the products, student using the tools, etc during the lab process. Okay. So you should take the pictures of all the um, essential and important process during the lab manufacturing process. So we have got three labs. So for our course, we've got three labs. One is sand casting, one is plastic injection molding, and number three is electric discharge machining or CNC. Okay, electric discharge machining or CNC, and this will be decided by the lab in charge. Lab PIC person in charge, Mr. Asmizam. He will decide on the lab day which machine is operational. If electric discharge machining machine is okay to proceed and it is operational, then he will use electric discharge machining. Otherwise, he will switch to computerized numerical control machining process. So either one of them is good to go, either electric discharge machining or CNC machining. So for all three labs, we have to provide lab report. Okay. So for sand casting, plastic processing, and electric discharge machining, we have to submit lab report. However, for sand casting, the lab report marks are 10 marks, and for plastic and electric discharge machining, the lab reports are 10 marks. So sand casting is a long report and plastic processing is a short report. Sand casting is 10 marks, long report, and sand plastic processing or electric discharge machining together is 10 marks, which means 5 marks each for both of them. So for your course, we have got assignment 20 marks, lab 20 marks. So that is why sand casting plus plastic and electric discharge machining is 20% marks of your course. So you have to submit 3 lab reports, 1, 2, and 3, and then you can get 20% marks. So for midterm, 20% marks you already have complete, and now we are going to complete the lab section of our course, which will be equal to 20% of the marks. So how the lab report and who is going to evaluate the lab report? So the lab report will be evaluated by the lecturer and the JP, and your lab practical, which includes your attendance, your safety, and your lab behavior or lab performance will be evaluated by JP. So JP will evaluate your lab performance, and this is equals to 25% of your marks. The lab JP is going to check your lab report, which is going to be 25% of the marks, and the lecturer is going to evaluate your lab report, 50% of the marks. So 50% of the marks are JP and 50% of the marks are lecturer. This equals to 20% of the marks. So make sure that you have performed the experiment, make sure that you are attentive in the class for the lab, and make sure you are following the safety requirements. So here is a distribution of the marks. Today I am going to give you briefing. So today I will be doing the attendance. In sand casting, plastic processing, and electric discharge machining, the JP is going to take your attendance. The lab report will be checked by the lecturer. The JP is also going to check your lab report, and he is going to give you the marks for the practical also. So how are we going to conduct this lab? This lab will be conducted as per the Ketua program instructions. This year, the lab are going to be conducted face to face. Okay. The JP is going to conduct the lab session, and he is going to carry the lab attendance for lab number 1 to lab number 3. Here is a mistake, so make it lab number 3. The lecturers are going to give you all the important lab sheets, and which are going to be available on Kalam. So you have to go and open your Kalam and get the lab sheets. How the group is going to be allocated? So the maximum number of students in each group are 4, and they have been allocated automatically in already. So you can access your group number A1, A2, A3 corresponding to your name, and each group has got 1, 2, 3, and 4 number of students. So the group allocation has been made, and if you want to look at your group allocation more closely, then you can go to Kalam. Okay, you go to Kalam, you go to your laboratory management, and in laboratory management, you can open this Excel sheet BTD1143 lab schedule and groupings. So in this lab Excel sheet, the lab schedule has been defined and the group has been defined also. So what is the lab schedule? The lab are going to start from week number 8. So your first lab is going to be conducted next week, because this week Thursday is Vesak Day, so it is a holiday. So the lab will be conducted in week number 8. The first lab 11th of May 2023. Okay. So those students who belong to group number A1, A2, and A3, they are going to go to Mr. Sazali lab, which is the casting lab, on 8th of week 11th of May. Those students who belong to group A7, A8, and A9, they're going to Mr. S. Nizam lab, which is the machining lab, on 8th week, 11th of May. So in this way, you are going to complete three labs. These groups are going to be distributed in such a way that you are going to complete each week, each lab, and three labs will be conducted. After you have completed the labs in week 8, 9, and 10, you are going to submit your report on week number 11 and week number 12. So in week number 11 and week number 12, you are going to submit your lab reports. So the submission of lab reports is available on Kalam. So what you do is you go to Kalam and you go and you can see the submission of lab report, which is the casting lab report is like this, and the plastic and machining lab report is like this. It means that you have to submit casting report separately. Casting lab report you have to submit separately in week number 11, and in week number 12 you have to combine plastic and machining labs together and submit them together. Submit both lab sheets, plastic processing and machining together in week number 12. If you want to know the location of lab, then I provided a small map of the location of lab. So you can consult this lab and go to the lab on the scheduled date and scheduled time. So this is the lab schedule, attendance and punctuality. So as I said that attendance will be taken by the lab GP and they are going to give you marks according to your punctuality. It is recommended that first you guys see the lab, what is the location of lab, so that on the lab day you are not late. Okay, it's very very important because last time the JP complained that 50% of the class 50% of the class come late, usually around 2:15. This is not recommended. Please be at the lab at 1:55. Because GPs are going to take the attendance and they will write late in front of attendance. So please go to the lab 5 minutes before. So last year JP complained that student come 15 to 30 minutes late. So the attendance was not counted for those students. So the location of the lab has been given. So if you are entering mechanical by main road, so from main road you are going to take your first left, and as you take your first left you go at the end of the road, then take your first left again, then take your first left again, and I have seen a lot of students, they park their motorbikes here. So once you park your motorbikes you can go, and for the machining lab take your first left, and for plastic processing take your first right for plastic processing. And if you are going for casting lab, then go to the second last alley or second last street, and the first door or the first main door is the casting lab. So here is a Google Street map. So, as recommended and as consulted by the lab instructor, they have told me that for this year, all students should wear safety shoes. If you do not wear safety shoes, then it is not allowed for you to enter the lab. You have to ask the JP about the safety guidelines, but they have told me that safety shoes is important. Wearing your jacket is recommended. Jacket wearing is recommended. Uh, all students need to sign the lab sheet safety instructions. So in the lab sheets which have been provided to you on Kalam, if you open the lab sheets, then there is acknowledgement of the lab safety and punctuality rules. So you all have to write your name, okay, in the report, and then you have to get signature by the JP. Without this, the lab report will not be counted. So lab report should be signed by the PIC, the safety sheet. So what you need to do is you have to go to Kalam, open Kalam, go to lab sheets. Okay, so this is the lab. This is the lab sheets. Open this folder. Once you open this folder, you will find three labs together: metal casting, plastic processing, and CNC. Open casting. Once you open casting lab, this lab sheet is going to open. All students, only the group leader. So the group leader needs to print this report. Group leader needs to print the report and bring it on lab day. Okay, so it is important for you to print this report and bring it on lab day so that you can get signature on the safety. So you scroll down. Okay, this is safety rules in casting lab manufacturing process. So simple guidelines are given, such as you should operate machines with the help of technical staff only. Okay, for more preparation, student should wear the lab coat or apron. We will come to this apron or lab coat later on. Okay, to prevent clothes from being embedded with sand. So wear safety shoes. Minimum leather shoes or safety shoes is important. So these are the guidelines which all students should read based on their responsibility. Write down your name, metric ID, safety shoes, check-in, check-out time, and then sign the lab sheet. And then the PIC or the lab in charge, he is going to sign your sheet. Once he sign your sheet, then you can basically submit your lab report. This is the title page of the lab report in which you should mention your group number. Which group number? The group number which is given here. You should mention this group number. So please mention your group number in the lab report. So let's talk about lab sheets. So as I told you, the lab sheets can be accessed from Kalam. Just now I show you the lab sheet being accessed from Kalam. So please print one copy of each lab sheet by the group leader, and then you should fill it during the lab. So if you open lab sheets and you go down, then you can see that there are some filling the blanks. Okay, you've got some checklists which are available. You have to fill these filling the blanks during the lab. Okay, what are the tools which has been used? So you need to list down all the tools which the JP has used. You need to write down the names of all the tools which are used during the manufacturing process. You need to write down the type of sand which is used, the type of raw material that you're going to use, how much quantity you have used it, and what was the purpose of it during the sand casting process. So you have to print this report and fill this report during the lab times or during the time when the lab is conducted. One person should fill the report and the other person he should take the pictures of each process. So one person should be assigned to fill the report, and the other person is going to note down how much time it takes to perform one operation. So please note down the sand casting processing steps, how much time it takes to perform each step, and then you have to take the picture of the process and put it down like this. Later on, you have to calculate the total time which was used to conduct the sand casting lab. Next, if you move down, then you have to draw the product. Basically, if you don't draw, if you take the picture of the product, then you can paste different angles of the picture of the product as well. So just take snaps of product which you have made in different angles, and then you can paste it here in the lab sheet. Once your sand casting has been performed, then what will happen is that you will see some different types of defects which are from cracks, skins, different skins, shrinkage, etc. So what you need to do is you need to take a picture of these snaps. Okay, take the picture of these and then put them in the table, and then ask JD what should be the recommended technique to prevent this defect from occurring. Okay, so you should fill this table as well. After you have completed the lab sheets, then you have to basically write down some introduction of the lab. The raw materials you have already included in the lab sheet, so no need. Process tools you have already included in the lab sheet, so no need. Machine and their applications. So you have to give information about the furnace which is used in sand casting process. What is its consumption, energy consumption? What is the make? Is it US make, China make, etc.? Take a picture of this furnace, okay, and machine specification, machine specs. So get information about the machine, okay, for sand casting. Then this process setting, product defects, etc. They are already in the lab sheet. Okay, so if you fill this, then this part is also covered. Conclusion and lesson learned, you have to write this down yourself, and references you have to write in down yourself. Then you have to answer these two questions. Okay. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of these two. Once you have completed the report, then you have to submit the report in Word or PowerPoint format, no problem. If it is in, sorry, PDF format, if it is in PDF, no problem. So this is how you need to complete the report. And this part is for lecturer, okay. This part lecturer is going to basically fill and complete. So this is no need for you to fill. You have to make the report based on the lab sheet which is given to you. So don't forget to print the report before you come to the lab. Wear your safety shoes and take pictures as much as you can. If you want, you can put the picture of all person performing the lab. Okay. Don't forget to get the safety sheet signed. Okay. The PIC is going to sign and chop the safety sheet for you guys with all the names of the students which are mentioned, and then you can submit the lab report as per requirement and as per procedure. So the report should be submitted within 2 weeks. So in week number 11 or 12, you are going to submit the lab report. In the lab report, you need to include the objective of the lab report, the problems which we have seen in the lab sheet already, the factors that contribute to metal casting process, the steps which are taken to perform the metal casting, and what is the outcome or what is the final product, what it looks like, what are the characteristics of the final product, something that you should mention in your lab report for all casting, for all plastic, and for all EDM and CNC machining. Please do not copy paste from each other because I've seen that some student they copy paste the picture of the machine also from their own friends. So what happen is that if you see the picture, you can see that two pictures are same because one person cannot take the picture from the same angle. So we can easily identify or detect that this picture has been copied from another student. Okay, so make sure you take your camera, take as much pictures as you can, and later on you can arrange the pictures according to the lab report guidelines, etc. But make sure not to copy paste pictures. So mention your group number, group section in the title page. Okay, please mention all the details in the title page. Only the group leader, only one person, the group leader, he is going to submit the lab report. Lab report number one and lab report number two and three. Not all the students need to submit the lab report. How we are going to check your report? We are going to check your report based on the lab sheet which has been provided, and then we are going to check whether you have mentioned the objectives, you have break down the problems, you have done the analysis, you have done the steps of process, and you have given the final product outcomes, etc. So I'm going to give you an example of all of these steps: objective, breakdown, analysis, steps, and outcomes in the next slides. So, yeah, so we move on. So as I told you, please mention with the help of GP, with the help of lab instructor, please fill the checklist. Please fill the tools which are used in the process. Please fill the raw materials which are used in the process. How much raw material was used in terms of kg, in terms of number, and what was the purpose of raw material? What is the purpose of sand, or what is the purpose of boron carbide? What is the purpose of boric acid, etc. Next is process time sheet. So take the picture of the process and how much time it takes to complete that process. Please mention that. Take the pictures of the final product, okay, and take the picture of the inspection that you are going to carry out for the product. What are the defects which were observed? Take the help of JP. Ask JP, this is my product, how it looks like. Please tell me what is this defect and why this defect occurred. So the JP will definitely tell you why this defect occurred and how we can countermeasure it, how we can solve this defect from not occurring again and again. So make sure you answer all the questions which are given in the lab sheet. So this was a briefing on the lab sheets which are given to you so that you can fill, print and fill and get signature from the PIC or JP. So here is an example of what I told you about the rubrics. So you can see the student has mentioned the objectives. So in the rubrics, objectives have been mentioned. Number two, you can see the problems. So the person or the student has put the final image of the product. Okay, this is the product image, and then he has put the what are the problems which have occurred in the sand casting process. Then what are the factors that contribute to the quality of sand casting? So he has mentioned each factor separately as well. So this is the analysis part. This is the outcome or the final product. So the result or outcome as we mentioned. These are all the steps. Okay. This is plastic processing, and in plastic processing, you can see the computer and you can see the software. So make sure that you take picture of the software that is used to control the process parameter. Process parameter means pressure, injection temperature, injection time, etc. All of these are mentioned in this picture. So make sure that you take the picture of all the processing steps. So this is the processing steps pictures given. And then this is another problems which has been identified. So as I said, that all group members' participation should be seen. So this is a student. He or she has worn an apron and he has worn necessary protective equipment such as gloves, helmet, shield. So you should mention the names of all the personal protective equipment PPE. Please mention that in your report. Please take pictures of yourself doing the experiment. So this is picture of the person he is doing the experiment. Okay. Take necessary pictures of all the steps, but you should, there are no captions in the images. Okay. So please mention some captions in the images. This is the team member wearing the safety equipment. This is the final product. This is the mold cavity. Okay. This is the GP inspecting the mold cavity. This is the sand being reclaimed. So please mention the captions below each picture. So if this is your picture, then I recommend you put caption, a small description of the process. And also you can see that here they have put a small table. Okay. So they have made a small table in the Microsoft Word. Okay. And then they have put the picture here and description here. So you can do the same in Microsoft Word also. So just open Microsoft Word. Okay. So when you are basically preparing your lab sheet, then insert table from here. Then you can adjust your column width, serial number, take the picture of the product, picture like this, and put it in the required area, and then write the description. So you can make processing steps table like this. You can make defect table like this. You can make raw material table like this. Okay. So using a table, you can arrange all your data, all your snacks, all your pictures. So these are very good reports, and these reports are secured 95% plus marks. In this picture, what you see in this picture, these reports were the best and they secured very good marks. So this is an example of CNC, electric discharge machining. This is a product which has been made. So this is the machine picture. So take the picture of the whole overall view of the machine also. Take the overall view of the machine also. Take the picture of the specs of the machine, specifications. The specifications are maybe sometimes put here. This is the name of the machine, or there is a specification plate which is attached to the machine. So take a picture of the specification plate also and mention the specification, overall machine, the caption, the make, okay, model. So this machine is AQ55L. So mention all of these important information. So here is an example of a report. This is a report of a student, and you can see this is electric discharge machining report. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is a 6-page report. And you can see that in this report, there is no picture. There are no group members performing the experiment. There is no image of the machine. There is no image of the raw material. There is no image of the software or machine software. No image of the defect. No tools, nothing. It is simply copy paste from internet. So such report are going to get 10 out of 100 marks. These 10 marks are courtesy. These are courtesy marks. Okay. So this is meaningless and unmeaningful report which has no use for our subject. It means that the student perhaps did not go to the lab and did not even take a single picture during the laboratory session. So please avoid these types of reports in our class. So here is an example of a bad image. Okay, this is a very you know unclear image. So avoid putting unclear images. There is no figure caption. So please add figure captions in the pictures. The reference are very less, just one or two reference. So this is also a little bit incorrect. So in the plastic processing, maybe you have to mention the process parameters. So please mention the units of process parameters. In our midterm also, for question number 2, part A and part C, all the answers were correct, but unit not mentioned. In the bending part, the unit was not mentioned by the student. So in part number A, it was all ratios, so there was no unit. In part number A, the rolling process, there was no need for unit. But for bending process, students should mention the millimeter, AB, bending allowance millimeter, and the force, which was newtons. So unit, some students did not mention, majority of students mentioned. So I appreciate the majority of students who have mentioned the units. I appreciate that. So please, I would like you to remind that please put the units also. Then you can see that the figures are not formatted well. As I told you, you should open MS Word, make a table, and arrange the figures correctly. Some size are different, some size are not different. This does not look pleasing. This does not look correct. Okay? So please format your figures correctly. So all the additional details for the report, they are available on Kalam. Okay. So the lab schedule, today's briefing slides, they have been added on Kalam already. Okay. All the safety, punctuality information, lab sheets are available. submission guidelines are available on Kalam, and where you should submit your lab report it is also available on Kalam. So now you have to go next week, do the lab, write the report, make a nice report, take as many pictures as you can, make a nice table of pictures and the processing steps, the defects, the outcome, the conclusion, etc. And make a nice report, and I can guarantee that you can get 80 to 95% marks in lab also. So many students have achieved 90% marks in midterm and 80% marks in midterm. I can guarantee that if you do these lab reports with the best of intentions, then you can get good marks in lab report also. So I would suggest that for today's session, briefing session, please mark your attendance. So go to Kalam now. You can go to Kalam now, go to lab, and in the lab, you go to lab attendance. In the lab attendance, you can do the attendance for today, and you can mark your attendance for today also. Okay. So today's briefing attendance on Kalam. And the lab number 1, 2, and 3 will be by JP. So please don't forget to mark your attendance today. Please mark your attendance. That's it. This is all about laboratory lab, which is 20% of your marks. Make sure to wear safety shoes. Make sure to be punctual because JP has told me they will cut the marks if you are not punctual. So make sure you are punctual. Make sure you have the lab shoes, safety shoes. If you want to wear the jacket, then that is also more recommended. Make sure to take all the pictures. You should have all the data, and the group leader should print the report and then take it to the lab and then get sign on the safety sheet, get signature on the safety sheet, and then get it verified by the PIC or the JP. So this was all about lab briefing today. If you have any questions, I'm open to questions. Okay, so it looks like it is very clear. So I have added this briefing, briefing on lab. I have added it here. So if you want to access slides for today, they are available as lab briefing here. And the rest of the information is available. The schedule is available. The lab sheets are available for printing. And then the submission of lab report number 1 and report number 2 and 3 both are available also. So I hope that in the next 4 or 5 weeks, you can complete your lab report and you can submit so that we can check your lab reports. Now we are going to move on to project. So now we are going to give you briefing on project. Project briefing, which is 40% of your course mark because there is no final exam, there is no test. To now, the most important thing for you guys is project. So it's very hot today, and give me 5 minutes. Let me replenish my throat, and let me get back to you after 5 minutes, and we are going to start project briefing in 5 minutes. Any questions you can ask after I come in 5 minutes. Thank you. All right, students. So, welcome back to the class. I'm going to give you now a project briefing, which contributes to 40% or a major portion of your subject. Okay. So today it's week number 7 going on, and we've got week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got about 8 weeks to prepare for the project. We've got 8 weeks to prepare for the project. So what is project and what does it constitutes of? Your project consists of four major things or four evaluations. Okay, there are four evaluations. Number one is the weekly progress logbook. Number two is group peer evaluation. Number three is video presentation. And number four is final report. So what is this weekly progress logbook 10, 11, 12, 13? Okay. So number one is logbook. When we talk about logbook, it means that you have to write down list of activities that you are going to perform each week. So every week you are going to work on project week 10, 11, 12, and 13. You are going to be working on the project. So when you are going to work on the project, then you have to submit a file in which you are going to write down what you have worked in the project. For example, in week number 10, you have done the team assembly. So you have constituted your team members. You have assigned roles. You have done brainstorming in which you have jotted down ideas. Okay, every group member has given ideas about something. Let's say one group member say we should make a chair. One group member say we should make a pen. One group member say we should make a smart tool. So these are some of the brainstorming ideas that you can write down. So in week number 10, you need to basically do these activities, take pictures of yourself together, each member working, and then you have to submit a small document, okay, one page only, of the team members, what you have done. If you written something, then please take a picture of that written something, and then you have to submit the logbook in Kalam. So you go to week number 14, project presentation. Okay, there are four parts. Number one, weekly logbook. So you've got a weekly logbook here, week 9, 10, 11, 12, or 10, 11, 12, 13. You go and you submit your logbook here. The activity which you have performed here, the picture of the activity that you have performed here. So these weekly logbook constitute to about how much marks? 10% of the marks. So this is 10% of the marks. Now in week number 2, what you will do? In week number 2, you will start on working on the drawing process. So week number 2, you draw the process. draw the material or product that you want to present. In week number 12, you make a 3D view. In week number 13, you make the report or video. You work on video. So I want to see pictures of you guys working together, something like that. So this is what 10% of the logbook looks like. And every week you have to go, and you have to submit logbook. Logbook will be submitted by the team leader. Team leader will submit the logbook. So I should mention this here. Let me edit this and mention team leader so that the confusion is not remaining. So I go and I change the setting submitted by leader only. But I would like to see the picture of all the students, all 4 students. Picture should be available in the single page or 2 page logbook. Okay. For example, if you want to see some example of logbook, okay. So for example, this is an example of a logbook. The logbook contains 4 person, the group members, and they are trying to figure out what product they want to make and what activities they have carried out for that meeting. Okay. So this is an example of one logbook. Let's take a look at another one. Mm, This is an example of logbook, but looks like all 4 members are not present. Only 3 members are present. You can see. So this is incorrect. It looks like they are just. It doesn't looks like some constructive work is carried out. Okay, so this doesn't looks like a nice logbook. No ideas are there. No brainstorming is there. So it doesn't look good. Here is an example of a logbook in which the student put the drawing. So this is very good actually. This is they put the pictures of all members. This is good, and they show that they have started working on the report. Many sections are empty. Some sections are empty, but they have started to add data, and they have started to complete the report. So this is good for week number 10 logbook. We have another example of a logbook. This is also 70% acceptable. Okay, the members' pictures are not present, picture members are not present, only a single person name is present. So this is not good. It does not show teamwork. So these are examples of logbook and what data you can include in a logbook. That data or examples of that data are given here. You can include any other additional data can be included as well up to you. So this was the first thing in a project. The first thing in a project is a logbook. So in this project, the most important thing for you guys to do is design a product, design a computer aided design model of a product, and you are going to tell audience how you will manufacture it. This is the theme, and this is the idea of the product. Design a product and how you are going to manufacture this product. This is everything in this project will be according to this. Now you should know about some software. Okay. So if you are going to design a CAD model, then you should know about some software. How you should learn the software such as AutoCAD, Autodesk, SolidWorks, or any other CAD software. Autodesk is free and it is available for all education students, so you can download accordingly. If you want to get or if you want to know how to install this software uh, or how to do it, then you can consult me, or I'm going to share a link for you guys on the steps on how to install this software. You can use your own software which are available in the market for making a brief product uh, CAD model. Okay, anyways, so a project consists of number one, logbook, number two, group peer evaluation. This one, group peer evaluation, group peer evaluation. What you need to do is, suppose a group has a group leader and three members. All three members have a responsibility. Let's say report, CAD model, video, organization. Then peer evaluation means that V is going to evaluate the performance of C, R, and O. C is going to evaluate the performance of R, V, and O, etc. So each member in the group is going to check the evaluation or performance of the peer. What does peer means? Peer means that R is basically a peer of C. R is a peer of V. You guys are working in a team. It means that other people who are working in the team are your peers. So all of them are your peer. So when you're working in a team, then you have to do group peer evaluation. Group peer evaluation will be done by all the members. So R, C, V, R will do, C will do, and O will also do. All four members have to fill the form. So you go back to Kalam again, okay, and you can see peer evaluation in week number 13. So you have to open this link, group peer evaluation. You go here, okay, and you have to fill this form. So you have to fill this form, project title, your name, your ID, your task, what task you have been given in the group, okay, how do you evaluate yourself. Then you write the member number one name, his ID, and his task. and how he performed in the task. Okay, and what is his contribution. Then you go and check about member number 2 and member number 3. Okay, so this is a form. This form has to be filled by all the members, all the students. So I will go back and I will write here peer evaluation, not by leader, but all members. All members. Okay, so you have to evaluate and give marks to your friends. They are not your friends, but now they are your peers. From 0 to 100, you have to give them marks. Okay. So I will make some changes in the form and then I will upload the link. But this link is working also so that you can have some idea of the form that you have to fill. So week 13, I will remind all the students in the group that you need to evaluate your peers in the project. So this is 10% of the marks. And this is altogether 10% of the marks. So now we have covered logbook, weekly logbook, and we have covered project peer evaluation. Any questions so far on the weekly logbook and peer evaluation? No. So looks like everything is clear about logbook and peer evaluation. Now we are going to move to the final steps, which is the report and the video. So we move on to the major portion, which is report and presentation. So we move on to the report section, which contributes to 50% of the marks. In the report section, you have to talk about the product or give introduction to your product. This product should have two or more components, and you have to make a 2D drawing as well as 3D view and the 3D render view also. So in this project, you have to give introduction, introduction of the product. For example, this is an example of a project. Okay, three members. Introduction. This is introduction. Okay. And maybe they gave some concept of their design, what they want to look into the design of this product. Then they provide a 3D view of the product, which is a lamp, and then they provide 2D dimensional drawing of the product, and then they provide individual drawing or individual parts drawing, etc. as well. So pretty good work in terms of drawing. So there are four parts or uh, four items. So these four items have got quantity one each. So step number one is introduction of your product, and then next is you have to provide 2D, 3D, or render view with dimensions. The dimensions should also comes with bill of material. Okay? Bill of material means this is bill of material. It's basically item number, part, name, and quantity. Now, in the report, you should talk about material selection and justification for selection. So, for example, for item part number one, you select metal, and then for part two, you select plastic. So, you should mention why you select metal, why you select plastic. Metal you select for strength, plastic you select for flexibility, etc. So that you have to mention in the report. So they have mentioned that aluminum is durable and plastic is lightweight and it has got good impact and flexibility. So this is the material properties that we have selected, etc. And then they have given some limitations also, advantages and disadvantages of each material that they have selected. So this is the part two of your material selection. This is 15 marks. Next is manufacturing and fabrication process of the prototyping, trial or testing phase for each component and assembly process. So, so what you do is you have to see that the product that you design in computer aided design, such as a phone holder, okay, you need to do prototyping. What is prototyping? Prototyping is basically additive manufacturing or 3D printing. Before you put your product in a market, before you create mass production of a product, you are going to create a rapid prototype or a 3D prototype of the product using 3D printing technique. Okay? So you have to give process on how you are going to carry out the 3D printing of the product. Is there any testing that you're going to do? You can mention that also. Let's say you are going to do a survey of people using the trial phase of the product, etc. So it's up to you whether you want to use prototyping or 3D printing, trial, which is survey, or are going to test your product in a real time environment. Okay, so you have to give some information on that part. So in this report, they're given the bill of material like this. Manufacturing process. So they have not mentioned about rapid prototyping or 3D printing. Okay, they did not mention about it. So unfortunately, marks were detected for that. Once you have done the testing or 3D printing part, now you're going to move on to the real manufacturing or production phase. In real manufacturing or production phase, you need to mention which process you are going to use. For example, injection molding, and number two, blow molding. So you need to give description of the process justification where why you want to use this injection molding process. The justification can be that because you have got a plastic phone holder, okay, so you need mass production, and for mass production, injection molding is suitable. Or if your product is unique, let's say sheet metal, then you will do the rolling process. So for rolling process, you need high strength process. So it will not be mass production, but it will be medium production. So that would be your justification because your product is large dimension. Large dimension require careful processing of rolling process, something like that. So you have to give justification of the process, details of the machine, tools, and consumables that will be used. So if you are going to use injection molding machine, we'll put a picture of injection molding machine. Then the raw materials for injection molding machines are plastic pellets. Okay. So you are going to put plastic pellets as your raw material. So which plastic pellets are we going to use? Polypropylene or ABS, etc. So you have to take pictures from internet, take pictures from references, and compile your report. The tools that you will be using, you have to mention that, and some consumables or materials that are consumed during the process, if it is required, you should mention that as well. And lastly, we need to mention process flow diagram, which I always emphasize, PFD process flow diagram. Okay. In this report, you can see process flow diagram is non-mentioned. Only process description is given. No machine picture is given, nothing. So this does not look good. This project has very good 3D drawing, 2D drawing, but the later part is not complete or it is incomplete. If I look at another project, member names are there, okay, introduction is there, problem statement, literature review, material is there, that's good. This is the product that we want to make. But computer video, this is the CAD model, so that's very good. This is the CAD model that they make. But process flow diagram. Process flow diagram is not present. So simply the process flow diagram for you would be, let's say, sand casting. Let's see, you have to prepare the sand, you have to prepare the mold, you have to heat the, make the pattern, etc. Then you have to heat the metal and then pour it and this and that. So at least make a basic simple process flow diagram. Okay. So this is your four major parts of your project, which is production, sorry, product, material selection, manufacturing, trial phase, and manufacturing, the real manufacturing process. Now you have to note that your project should be different than others, including internet sources. You can only use information found on internet as references. Any similarity or plagiarism found will be given 0 marks, which means that you have to submit the report to a software called Turnitin. So you have to make an account on Turnitin, which is going to check your similarity, whether your product or whether your report is similar to somebody or not. So you log in, make an account on Turnitin. Okay, let's say you open this and you have to uh, submit your report in Turnitin. So I'm going to give you a link and you have to submit your report like this so that I can see how much we have copy paste from internet. Okay, so be careful and do not copy paste from internet. So you can see this orange and yellow, this is not good, but green and blue is the best. Less similarity, less copy paste. So this was all about report, which is 50% of the marks. So I go back, 50% of the marks for the report. Report is 50% of the marks. Next, we are going to move on to the video presentation, which is 30% of the marks. Video presentation. So you guys need to record a video in which all four members are present. All four members are present. You have to record a video. What you need to do in the video? In this video, you are going to make a 20 minutes to 30-minute video, and you need to upload this video on YouTube or Google Drive and share the link with me, or share the link in the report. Share the link in the report. In this video, you have to pitch your product. So the product that you're making, two members, two members are pitchers and two members are investors. Okay? Pitchers are going to pitch and investors are going to ask question. So pitchers are going to give introduction of the product, its advantages, features, etc. Whereas investors are going to interrupt and they are going to ask questions of the about the product. Okay. So in this way, it is going to be a dialogue type of video. So this will be some kind of a dialogue video presentation, which is going to help you in future in pitching your products. Once you have reported this video session, then you can put it on Kalam as a link of video or on YouTube link, etc. And you can put it in the report. So this was all about project. In the project, you've got logbook, you've got group peer evaluation, you've got video presentation, okay, and in the video presentation, and then you've got the final report. Okay. All the details of these are given on Kalam already. So if we go to Kalam and we go to project, then logbook, peer evaluation, submission of project, submission of CAD model or drawing also. So remember that you have to submit your CAD model, drawing, DWG or other file as well. Product project instructions are given on Kalam again here, so you can access it here. Okay. So the project instructions are given here in the summation of project marks. 20 June 2023, Tuesday, the last week, number 14, Tuesday is the deadline. Deadline for the project, deadline for the CAD model, and put the link, put the video link in the report also. So I will write here that please video link pitching product and report. So this is all about project. So I would once again emphasize the project is very, very important. It is 40% marks. Okay, it will decide whether you will get A, B, C grade. Okay, this is very, very important project. So I would recommend that please focus more on it and make a very nice project. Nice project. Do work more on it, work hard on it, and you will get good marks definitely. So this was all today about lab briefing and project briefing, and hopefully it is quite clear to you. Do you have any questions regarding project briefing or lab briefing? Please do ask. You can ask me during the class also. You can ask me in the office also, and you can WhatsApp your question also. No problem. Okay, so thank you 24 students for attending the class. I appreciate it. And please mark your attendance for today. And any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thank you. And I will see you next week, Tuesday, in the class. Hopefully, aircon will be working and everything. And see you in next week. This week, Thursday, is Chutti, Vesak Day. So there is no lab this week. Next week, face-to-face class Tuesday and face-to-face lab on Thursday. That's it. Thank you. See you in the next class. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.